Do something different. You know, when I start the lives, I feel like it cuts off right in the beginning, but I was gonna set up. Oh, see, I forgot the timestamps again. I have my tablet right next to me to time this so that we don't have to rewatch. But if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader as of 5 years this year and an intuitive coach. I started an intuitive coaching program over the summer, and my purpose and my calling is to coach and mentor basically the newly awakened. You don't have to be newly awakened, but a lot of people that end up finding me are fellow light workers, readers, healers of all kinds in the making. And there's so much information out there, and there's so much media that I felt like it was important to teach people how to practice good discernment, growing that intuitive muscle that we all have, that we were all born with, but due to societal conditions, trauma, things like that, it tends to get blocked off. And then all of a sudden we wake up and we're like, oh, what do I do with this? So let's get started. Let's do card one. Don't look at it. Actually, I'm going to take the shuffle out of the camera. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Okay. So we have a star, a moon. We're also going to have dice. So go ahead and breathe it out. Think about your question, or you could think about nothing really, just clear the mind. And we'll take a few seconds so you can decide which card you feel called to. Let's move you a little closer, actually. Hi, Logan. I can barely see the comments because the camera's facing this way, but I felt like this would be easier for you guys to do a pick a card. Okay, we're going to stop the timer. Can I add another one? Well, looks like it's going to make me write it down. So 254. Okay, we're going to start with the star. And you have the tiger. We're going to pull a few cards for each card with the tarot. Technically, these are oracle cards if you're new to tarot readings. You choose the moon. 3 cards for the tiger. Oh, I wanted to give you, oh, actually I gave you 3. Okay. I'm using the Pocket Animal Spirit deck. This is by Kim Kranz. One of my clients, but also part of my friend tribe. He got me super into Kim Kranz. I had no idea that she had multiple decks. She also does music and art, which is amazing. I've noticed a lot of tarot readers kind of expand their sphere. Let's get started on the star pile. It says lunar force, ease and darkness, feminine energy. The tiger hunts us at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, and sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, Chataka, candle gazing. I've done that like a lot in my life, but I never knew that there was a word for it. So I've found that kind of funny. So you have the moon, the 10 of swords, and the 7 of swords. So I definitely feel like you're more on the shadow side of things. You might be struggling to embrace the feminine side. And if you're new to spirituality, there's masculine and divine energies in all of us. It doesn't matter what gender. You want to be balanced in both. So if you're too masculine, that's like toxic masculinity. If you're too feminine, you might be codependent, you might be enmeshed, you might be more in the pushing away and not in receiving mode. That's how it would describe dark feminine energy. And this could be due to fears, worries, and insecurities, maybe even a little paranoia. Maybe you were hurt in the past. I mean, who hasn't? I know that's very vague, but there's something that was painful in the past that you're running from and avoiding acknowledging, and that needs to be healed. And if you're feeling overstimulated, I would recommend meditation or any grounding techniques. There's so many out there. Whatever you feel called to. I feel called to the water a lot, and that could be anything from going to the ocean, sitting by a pond or a lake, or you could even do cold plunging, or you could simply just take a really long hot shower, take a bath. I'm a big believer in Epsom salt. So that is for the star pile. Now, if you picked the dice, it landed on 6, if that means anything to you. We ain't going to talk about that. That's a tarot reading. This is Scorpion. I have very, very strong opinions about politics and just the world in general. What I will say is let the systems fall. They've been failing anyway. Astrologically speaking, this is all supposed to be happening. I don't condone violent behavior, but these events that are playing out that are just insane, they are supposed to be happening. Better question is, what do you think of it and what are you going to do about it? Who are we the people? What are we going to do about it? That's something to think about, right? Trust me, I could rant forever, but I choose not to get into that. I think it's important to have those kind of discussions, but I prefer to have my boots on the ground. Passionate, competitive, tends towards isolation. The scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the scorpion's heat festers and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they are left feeling burned. The scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual, fiery but fun self. When in balance, wild and free, fierce. When out of balance, jealous, resentful, and unresolved. To bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness. Now let's pull a few cards for Scorpion. I didn't do the timestamp again, you guys. I guess it's just not going to happen because I'm too much in the flow. We'll reset that. Eight of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. So if you're in balance, I feel like you'll feel very spontaneous. The opposite of the Knight of Wands and the shadow side, you might be more impulsive. So be careful because there's an opportunity coming that you might miss because of either being in the shadow or in the light of things. Now let's talk about the Eight of Wands because this can mean many things. I tend to get this card when it talks about alignment. Now, alignment can be messy. The universe will pivot you and twist and turn so that you're exactly where you need to be, but it's due to your own choices. So, time to get into an alignment and get on the light side of things if you're feeling more on the shadow side. Hi, Polly. Copay was crazy high today, was having some thoughts. Yes, Wild Unknown. And once again, I forgot the timestamps. I got one, but I don't expect this one to be long. But if you picked the moon, we have the bat. Looking through the guidebook. Says darkness, letting go, death leading to rebirth. Before emerging, the bat waits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. The bat is a master of the subtle senses of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and others to fade. The bat card shows up to signify the ending of a chapter, the closing of a door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns, no more lingering in the past. When in balance, accepts, adapts, and adjusts. When out of balance, refuses to let go and reminisces. To bring into balance, watch the sunrise. I love that. To be honest, it's been a while since I've watched a sunrise. Can I get a few cards for bats? We have the Knight of Cups, Chariot at the bottom of the deck, Seven of Cups, Ten of Wands. I do get a lot of reminiscing in this energy. Something that's an energetic burden from the past. It could have been a love connection even, or it could be something that happened when you were younger, teen, early 20s, getting different storylines. You could have if it's in regards to like a specific person, you could have went on a trip with this person, you could have had a conversation in the vehicle or a car with this person. It's so random. It's something that's lingering in your mind, but also it's manifesting something that you don't want again. So you don't want to repeat patterns, right? So if Major Arcana coming out. Yeah, this would definitely be a review of something that you've been through before, and the whole lesson is about self-love. Short live stream. We're just going to be changing stuff up. I do plan to do signs singularly, just by themselves, like not do all signs for live streams. I'm not sure. I might try some next week. Yeah, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I'm doing whatever my guides tell me to do. Lately, it's been very random. But I do plan to change the setup as time goes on, as well as probably only show my face during live streams just so I can get to know other people and it's more of a conversation. Whereas like these kind of readings, not so much. Like I have to like turn my head to even look at the chat. But being as I'm a person that talks with my hands a lot anyway, I was like, well, what really matters is the message and the cards. So if you're looking to book a personal reading, I have a link tree in my description. I usually put my website on every video as well. I have a few different options. I do emailed readings. I also do virtual calls and pre-recorded videos. And I made it that way because everybody's different. Some people like to read and then reread them as time goes on. I do highly recommend that you go back to your readings and let things play out. And then some people are just more visual and they rather see the cards. I do send pictures in the emailed readings of your cards, but I don't know, some people like to see it in motion. As for other people, they like virtual calls mostly because they like that one-on-one and I can catch your energy better. You can ask me to clarify things as we pull cards. And this is good for people that are new and don't know me and they want to get to know me on a more personal level and like see my face. It's just like a different kind of experience. Or sometimes they don't know what question to ask. So a lot of the times when booking a virtual call, I'll just start pulling cards and give them a storyline, and then they tend to intuitively feel called to a specific question, like, oh, you caught that, let's focus on that. Does that make sense? So definitely just depends on what you're looking for. I would say the written readings get booked the most, probably because it's the cheapest, but virtual calls are harder to schedule because it depends what time zone you're in and, our work schedule and things like that. Pre-recorded videos are easier for me to put together just because I can get it done within a few days and then I send you a private YouTube link that you can keep forever. As far as the intuitive coaching program, this is coaching and mentorship to strengthen your discernment. We do goal setting, figuring out what your choices are when it comes to obstacles, because a lot of people feel like they're stuck, but it is my belief that we're never stuck. It usually has to do with a mindset or just not being aware of what choices are laid out in front of you, and that's where the cards come in. And it's 3 emailed readings for 6 months. And so far, we have 3 coaching members, 2 renewed recently, and then 1 that's become a really good friend locally, which has been awesome. Did not expect that. We actually met when I started reading at a local apothecary shop, and I wasn't there for very long, but I knew that I was supposed to meet someone reading there, and that's what ended up happening. The universe does crazy things to my life. It's so interesting how things play out. Gemini hand energy. Is it? Is it? Is that where that comes from? Probably. Polly's always right about that stuff. But that was it. We'll call it a night. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time. Bye.